In anime, it's all about the characters, sometimes even more than the story. We've all got our favorites. A lot of work goes into building a character, such as their appearance, personality, powers, quirks, ambition, and backstory. And then of course there's the important character building tool, a powerful introduction. That brings me to the subject of my video today, the top 10 One Piece character introductions. One Piece, as we know, is full of characters big and small. Many of these characters have blessed us with their imposing presence from their very first frame. These first impressions, even if they came hundreds of episodes ago, have stayed fresh in our minds. So without further delay, these are the top 10 One Piece character introductions. Presenting the rookies with a reputation is at number 10. A gorgeous glutton, a gang boss, a magician, a guy with a killer tune, a magnetic redhead, a master assassin, a former law enforcer turned outlaw, a mad monk, a tattooed surgeon, a rubber-limbed airhead, and a swordsman with a penchant for losing his way. Do you recognize them? I'm sure you do. The Supernovas are the 11 pirates who made a name for themselves very early in their wayward careers by attracting bounties of over 100 million berries. Not only does this make them a serious threat to the world government and the Marines, it also gives them an air of notoriety, which they obviously revel in. Being such unrivaled talents, this lot do deserve a grand introduction, and that's exactly what they get in the Sarbodi Archipelago arc, first through a rogues gallery-style slideshow of their bounties, and then by getting to display their exploits in what remains one of the most rambunctious multiplayer fights in One Piece. Just 2 chapters after we were introduced to the Supernovas, we get to meet the famed former first mate of Pirate King Goldie Roger. It's a quietly powerful first impression, just right for a legend. A young mermaid's being caught by slave traders and is to be the star attraction of an auction attended by the world nobles. The auctioneer is giving her a hard time, but as he attempts to put an exploding device around her neck, he suddenly passes out. Behind him, in a prison for other slaves, an old man with a familiar white beard takes a sip from his whiskey flask as the giant sitting beside him tells him he knows it was his haki that saved the mermaid. This is a clever introduction if you look deep enough. It starts off Rayleigh's story with a little display of haki, a teaser of sorts to the veteran pirate's future role as Luffy's haki coach. Next up, we have the Sandman himself, Crocodile. Before he's revealed to be the primary antagonist of the Alabasta arc, we meet Crocodile as the hero of the Desert Kingdom. Standing atop a tall building, all the townsfolk seem to love this imposing figure with a golden hook for a hand. They chant his name and hail him as their protector. Unlike most early villains in this long-running One Piece saga, Crocodile's had a gripping character trajectory and journey for what little we've seen of him. He started off as a former crime boss and warlord of the sea who set out to steal an empire. He was one of the first powerful rivals to cross paths with a young Luffy and hand him a devastating defeat. He later turned into an unlikely ally, but it's still a mystery where his loyalties really lie. Given his ever-evolving character and the potential for his return, Crocodile's introduction in Alabasta remains a memorable one. Coming in at number 7 is Dracule Mihawk, the world's strongest swordsman. Hawkeye, as he's called, is an outlier even for a pirate. He's a single-man crew traveling the rough seas in a ridiculously small boat with a ridiculously large blade. He doesn't seem to like conflict, but doesn't shy away from it either. He seems noble and honorable, but isn't above being a warlord of the sea and on the world's government payroll. It's only right that he makes a strong impression on debut, his first act being to cut a pirate ship in half, leaving an entire fleet of pirates trembling in his wake. He's the man who single-handedly destroyed their 50-strong fleet on the Grand Line, the Pirates' Lament. What makes this introduction even more special is the flash of excitement on Zoro's usually impassive face as he sees Mihawk for the first time. For our next entry, he might fire jelly beans as weapons, have a fondness for donuts, and have the word sweet in his title, but there is nothing remotely sweet about him. Being the second son of Charlotte Linlin and one of the 3 sweet generals of the Big Mom pirates, Katakuri is as overpowered as they come, and you know this from the start. There isn't even a doubt, considering that he has a bounty of 1 billion berries. As expected, he manages to shock and awe with his first appearance, such as his power. That power is an ability to see slightly into the future, a result of polishing his observation haki to such a level that it's given him the gift of clairvoyance, a power almost as rare as his mother's. Without making an effort, Katakuri is able to predict the words that will come out of people's mouths before they're spoken, predict when an attack is coming and how many people are involved. It's a godly ability revealed right off the bat for one of the main antagonists, and surprisingly, the most sympathetic figure of the whole Cake Island arc. At number 5, we have Monkey D. Dragon. Other than the fact that he's the father of our hero, the son of Garp, and the supreme commander of the Revolutionary Army, very little is known about this man. We know for sure that he'll play a major role in the story that's yet to be told, but for now, he remains a fascinating secret, which is surprising in many ways, given that he made his debut in the series at around the 50th episode mark. True to how his character has unfolded so far, Dragon first appears as a mysterious cloaked figure in a rain-swept town who saves Luffy from Smoker. The only thing that gives away his identity is the distinctive tattoo on the left side of his face. From the sudden and intense storm that sweeps the town right around his appearance, we can guess that Dragon's powers are immense, but like the man himself, they're still tightly wrapped up in mystery. Till Oda decides to bring Dragon out in the open, we can only remain in awe of this enigma. With the plot of the Wano arc completely centered around him, we've all been waiting to lay eyes on Oden, and the big reveal doesn't disappoint. The shadowy silhouette we've been catching glimpses of for several episodes has finally made way for the man himself, a fierce warrior built for combat. Yet that's just one facet of his personality as we find out. A born ne'er-do-well and wild child, an irresistible heartthrob with not very nice manners, a lout who thinks it's a good idea to cook a hot pot meal on a funeral pyre, a rascal turned do-gooder turned pirate, these two are different sides of Oden. There's probably more. Oh yes, he's got some terrific connections too, to Goldie Roger, Whitebeard and Shanks no less. Even as we wind down to the grudge match between Luffy and Kaido that will be the arc's final act, it's Oden's story we'll be following closely in the meantime. Say Mamma Mia, because our third entry is Big Mom, a sweet hound and the first Yonko on this list. The most powerful female pirate waltzes into the series with a bit of a song and dance. Instead of a display of power or personality, her introduction has a carnival or party mood to it. A tea party to be exact, which is our favourite activity. But look beyond the festivities, the rainbow and the dancing folks, and there's something terribly wrong with this cheerful and harmless picture. The talking flowers and the yummy desserts that break into song are just the tip of the iceberg of strangeness. Big Mom's jolly tune about planning a tea party and a wedding quickly goes into a very dark territory, with lyrics about looting and killing. There's also a murderous look on her face, which clashes with her light and easy footsteps. As far as character introductions go, this is the perfect show for this unpredictable pirate who's as childlike as she is cruel, as powerful as she is peculiar. number 2, we have the man with the most innovative transport solution.
こちらキザル到着しましたんで応答願います
As a Marine Admiral, Kizaru undoubtedly has a fleet of naval warships at his disposal to help him get around. But where's the fun in that when you can ride a cannonball, right? Kizaru's entrance in Sabodi is one of the most iconic moments in the series. As far as character introductions go, it doesn't get more unconventional than this. Him taking down the Supernovas like it was nothing was just the icing on the cake. If we talk about the 3 admirals at this point of the story, Kizaru doesn't seem as compelling a character as Akainu, a ruthless authoritarian, or Aokiji, who's a reasonable man behind his icy exterior. And yet he's the one who gets the most exciting debut among the 3. He's been part of some truly engrossing contests. We can only hope that the fun times continue when that familiar figure in a bright yellow suit makes his next appearance.
こりゃちょっとやりすぎたね
And that brings us to number 1. And it's Kaido for the win.
彼は今自殺をしたのだ
What beats riding into a scene on a cannonball? Free falling from a sky island and surviving the fall despite landing headfirst, that's what. That suicidal plunge is the moment we most associate with Kaido, the King of Beasts and the central antagonist of the ongoing Wano arc. Before his debut, we knew Kaido to be an unstoppable, invincible force, more monster than man. In the episodes since that dramatic first appearance, we know him to also be a tyrant with the power to transform into an ancient dragon, as well as a hopeless drunk with a grumpy disposition. It's these little character quirks that make him interesting as a villain more than his imposing powers and physicality in his evil deeds. As the Wano arc unfolds and the action intensifies, we can't wait to see his exploits. And this build-up of excitement and anticipation, I dare say, is all thanks to his fascinating introduction more than 200 episodes ago.
死に場所を求める男の名は百獣のカイド
And that brings us to the end of this video. Tell me what your favorite character introductions in One Piece are in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, do press like and subscribe to ViniiTube for more One Piece and anime related top 10s and videos. It's adios from me, but only until the next video.